Welcome to Kiran Classroom. Today we'll learn nutrition in human beings. In humans, how to food digested and which process is going on in the digestive system. Now we talk about the nutrition in human beings. First of all, human digestive system is very complex in nature because it's have a different parts are involved to perform different functions by the various digestive juices and enzymes and so many uh, parts also involved in the process of digestion. Basically, in digestive system we saw a long tube. It's called a alimentary canal. It is basically a long tube and extends from the mouth to anus. When we observe or we see the alimentary canal, it has different parts and various regions are specialized to perform different functions. So ingestion. What is ingestion? Ingestion means the act of taking food and drink into the body by the mouth. So the taking of a particles by the mouth. So this is ingestion. So in ingestion process, the food and the drinks through the mouth. Whenever we take the food through the mouth, so what happened to the food once it enters in our body? What the changes you seen? So when the food enters in our body, the food is digested and then it small intestines absorb the food materials and your circulatory system also passes them on the parts of your body and stored and used. In ingestion process, we eat various types of food which has a pass through the same digestive tract in our body. The food is so many types. Sometimes we take liquids and solid type food materials we take. So all these food materials are converted into substance small enough to be utilized by our body. So this needs a various process that can be needed. So whenever you take solid materials or liquid materials, so these materials are convert to our are suitable to our body. So in that, what changes going on? Which parts convert the solid food materials into simple ones? So now we'll discuss about pass of food through alimentary canal. When the food is cut and crushed by our teeth in the mouth and mixed with the saliva to make it wet and slippery, so this is called mastication. So mastication means when we take the food into our mouth, so that food material mixed with the saliva and crushed with our teeth. దిస్ ఈజ్ కాల్డ్ మాస్టికేషన్. తెలుగులో చూర్ణం చేయడం అంటాం. ఓకేనా? సో చూర్ణం చేయడం అంటే ఏంటి? మనం తీసుకున్న అటువంటి ఆహారం అనేది, మన నోటిలోకి తీసుకున్నటువంటి ఆహారం అనేది నోటి లోపల ఉన్నటువంటి శాలివా లాలాజలంతో కలిసి చిన్న చిన్న ముక్కలుగా మార్చి చిన్న చిన్న ముక్కలుగా దేంతో మారుస్తాయి? టీత్, పళ్ళ సహాయంతో చిన్న చిన్న ముక్కలుగా అది శాలివాతో కలవడాన్ని మనం మాస్టికేషన్, చూర్ణం చేయడం అని అంటాం. సో హౌ మెనీ salivary glands in our body? So there are 3 pairs of salivary glands in our body. So the salivary glands is released the saliva అంటే లాలాజలం అనేది రిలీజ్ చేస్తాయి. సో దీస్ 3 pairs of salivary glands, 2 are located in the sides of the jaw and below the tongue. 2 pairs. One pair is located in the palate. So which enzyme present in the saliva? The saliva is mainly contains the enzyme amylase. It's also called ptyalin. What is the function of the amylase or ptyalin? These enzymes break down the complex carbohydrates into simple ones. So which food materials we are taken to our mouth? So when the saliva is break down the food materials which have been present the carbohydrates, the complex carbohydrates into simple ones. And also in our mouth, and another part is tongue. So what is the role of the tongue in our mouth? The tongue helps to mix the food and push into our next part of our alimentary canal. And also the lower jaw helps in the whole process. Which process? Mastication. ఇంకా మన నోట్లో ఉన్నటువంటి నాలిక అనేది మనం తీసుకున్న ఆహారం, మనం నవ్వులుతున్నప్పుడు ఆహారాన్ని పళ్ళ మధ్యలోకి నెట్టడంలోను, మరియు నాలిక తర్వాత భాగమైనటువంటి ఆహార వాహిక ఆసోఫాగస్ అంటాం. సో దానిలోకి పంపడంలోనూ ఈ నాలిక అనేది సహాయపడుతుంది. ఇంకా లోయర్ జా అంటే కింద దవడ అనేది ఏం చేస్తుందంటే హోల్ ప్రాసెస్, అంటే మనం నవలాలి అన్నప్పుడు మన శరీరంలో ఉన్నటువంటి ఈ 2 భాగాలు అనేవి సహాయపడుతుందంటే లోయర్ జా అనేది నవలడంలో సహాయపడుతుంది. సో ఈ విధంగా లోయర్ జా అనేది మనకు సహాయపడుతుంది. When the food is mixed in our mouth with saliva, it passes through the esophagus by the wave-like movements called peristaltic movements. So through these peristaltic movements, the food enters into the stomach. What is peristaltic movement? What is peristaltic movement? Peristaltic is a series of wave-like muscle contractions that moves the food in different parts in the digestive tract. In this process, means peristaltic process, begin in the esophagus when the bolus of food is swallowed. Bolus of food means masticated food. The masticated food enters the esophagus. The food reach the stomach through the peristaltic movements. When the food is entered the stomach, the food gets mixed with some gastric juices and HCl. When the gastric juices mixed with the food materials or bolus, it is converted into semi-solid conditions. In this, whenever the gastric juices and HCl mixed with the bolus, in that food materials proteins and break down into smaller molecules with the help of some enzymes, pepsin, and act on them. When the enzymes, gastric juices mixed with the bolus or semi-solid condition of the food materials, the food is soft, slimy substance with some proteins and carbohydrates have already break down. It is called chyme. It is called chyme. Now food materials passes through the from the stomach to the small intestines. Here a small ring-like projection or small ring-like muscles is called pyloric sphincters. It really relax to the open of passes into the small intestines. What is pyloric sphincters? What is pyloric sphincters? These sphincters are regulate the opening of the passages such as the chyme that push to the small intestines in small quantities at some time. Okay, that is the function of the pyloric sphincter. What is the function? The pyloric sphincters are responsible the opening passage of food materials in the stomach into the small intestine at a time. The small intestine is the longest part of the alimentary canal. So what is alimentary canal? The alimentary canal begins mouth and ends with anus. So all the long tube is called alimentary canal. So all this tube, the largest part of the alimentary canal is small intestines. So the digestion in the stomach, the food enters the small intestine. Here the remaining carbohydrates, proteins and fats are digested in the small intestine. The small intestine length is 7 meters or 22 feet average. This is also 3.5 times the length of our body. In the digestion process, digestive system and other also two parts involve the digestion. One is liver, second one is pancreas. So what is the emulsification? So in our food we take carbohydrates, proteins, fats. Carbohydrates are digested by saliva. Then fats. How to fats digest or converted to our body? So the fats is converted through the emulsification. What is emulsification? The fats are digested or converted into a small globes like forms by the help of the bile juices secreted from liver. So the fat molecules, globules are converted through the some bile juices secreted from the liver. This is called emulsification. In our body, one more enzyme, trypsin. The trypsin enzyme secreted from the pancreatic juices. The trypsin secreted by pancreas. The trypsin is digested the proteins in our body. And one more enzyme, lipase. The lipase enzymes digest the fats in our body. Next, small intestine or intestinal juices. The intestinal juices are secreted by the walls of the small intestines. In this process, the intestinal juices carry the further small molecules of proteins to break down further the small molecules. What is absorption? So absorption means శోషణ అంటాం. Transport of food materials or transport of products of digestion from intestines to blood is called absorption. అంటే మన శరీరంలో జీర్ణమైనటువంటి అంటే జీర్ణాశయంలో జీర్ణమైనటువంటి ఆహార పదార్థాలు లేదా ఆహార పదార్థాలు అనేవి ఈ యొక్క ఎంజైమ్స్ ద్వారా అతి చిన్న అణువులుగా మారిన తర్వాత అవి రక్తంలోకి కలవడాన్ని జీర్ణ వ్యవస్థ నుంచి ఎక్కడికి వస్తాయి, చిన్న ప్రేగుల్లోకి వస్తాయి. అప్పుడు చిన్న ప్రేగుల్లోకి వచ్చిన తర్వాత అక్కడి నుంచి అవి రక్తంలో కలవడాన్ని మనం అబ్జర్ప్షన్ శోషణ అంటాం. అంటే మన శరీరంలో జీర్ణమైనటువంటి ఆహారం పదార్థాలు ఎక్కడెక్కడ జీర్ణం అవుతాయని చెప్పాను, డైజెస్టివ్ సిస్టమ్ అండ్ స్మాల్ ఇంటెస్టైన్స్. సో ఈ రెండు భాగాల్లో జీర్ణమైనటువంటి ఆహార పదార్థాలు either carbohydrates or proteins and fats, these are entered into the blood, is called absorption. How to the digestive materials into the blood? So here the intestines walls has a number of finger-like projections called villi. These villi are absorb the digestive materials in small intestines. The villi have two major parts. One is lymph vessels and blood vessels. These two parts carry the food materials from the small intestines into blood. In the digestive system, the remaining waste materials or undigested food materials enters into the large intestines. Here most of the water present and take up from these materials. So these undigested and unwanted materials are expelled through the last part of the alimentary canal is called anus. This process of undigested food materials from the body by the way of the anus is called defecation. Defecation అని అనొచ్చు, excretion అని కూడా అనొచ్చు. The defecation materials also contains some amount of proteins, fats, carbohydrates, rough edges and fibers and other carbohydrates also. So dear students, today we talk about we learn digestion in humans. So next class we talk about so healthy aspects of alimentary canal and diseases due to malnutrition. Okay, if you like this, share and subscribe my channel Kiran Classroom. Thank you.